Oh, we got some people in here already. Y'all are ahead of the game. This is our first ever attempt at doing these. Um, so if you can hear me, throw a comment in the chat real quick so I can use you guys as test dummies before too many start showing up here. Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Holly. Perfect. I am not good at technology stuff. So there we go. Perfect. Thank you guys. This is I am professionally trained. I graduated with exercise science and biomechanics. So electronics, not not my strong suit. I'm glad to hear that we've got sound here. Um, Let me start popping in. We'll do questions in the chat. We've got about 10-ish people sliding in, and it doesn't officially start for 15 minutes. So I will try to get you guys in and out as fast as we can get going here. With your questions, if you slide them over in the chat, I will answer them to my best ability. Some of those answers might just be I don't know. Some of those answers might be just sit tight, but bear with us as we try to figure out what this program is going to kind of look like here. There can be. I mean, um, I'm figuring out how to get these meetings saved. So bear with me. Schedules are going to come out as soon as we can get them. If your child is third grade and above, that is not on us. That is the state. We have to register everyone in the state league. That is not something that we manage or operate. So as soon as the state gets back to us, then we will be able to update you on the scheduling, but we don't run that stuff. That is from the state. Um, that roster question goes to Mackenzie Toomey. Mackenzie Toomey at arkansasrising.org. I do not have a single thing to do with the roster building this season. Um, with rearranging our leadership structure, we've got 1,300 kids and one of me. So roster building in and of itself takes about 20 hours on top of the 60 plus hours that already comes with everything with scheduling and field assignments and kits. So reach out to Mackenzie Toomey. Yes, your second grade um, kiddo, we will put practices on there. That's second grade and below, we do in-house programs, so I get to manage all of those. Those should be all up to date on your schedule, so those should be fine. Um, I'm not sure what you mean of is there a separate practice? I saw games scheduled on Saturday. Is there a separate practice? Yeah. And then I see you said Michael Sullivan. I see practice has been added to my schedule. My son is in second grade. Okay. I'm not sure where you want me to speak on that, but I will be happy to help. As people start trickling in, remember throw questions and comments in there. I will try to get to them as quick as I can. We have right now we're sitting at 1,274 kids. You average two parents per kid. That rounds out to about 3,000 parents, all trying to volley for my time and attention. So one-on-ones is very difficult to try to schedule right now. So we're going to try to do stuff like this. It's more big forum, open forum, um, that I can speak on a question for 30 seconds versus a phone call that takes 5 minutes. Um, Even a 5 minute phone call with all of my parents takes up about 80 hours. I don't have time to try to call everybody for a quick 5 minute phone call. So we're going to try to do some more open forum type meetings like this. We are currently, I believe, when we ran our numbers, this is the second biggest season we've had on the Rec and Academy and Rising Stars programs since COVID. It's the second biggest one we've ever had. Our biggest was like, I believe it was 21. We had 1350, and right now we have 1274. So we are only about 70 kids away from this being one of the biggest seasons in the last half decade when it comes to the Rec and Academy programs. Um, and all the fun stuff that occurs with trying to schedule that volume out. The state has changed the way that we are building rosters from, hey, if you're 2018, you're on the team, to, hey, it's more of grade based. You probably noticed that when you signed up, which has also been a struggle for, we've trained on this team for the last 4 years, and now we're in a different age bracket. So um, I get that some of that issues has occurred. But as far as your roster building questions, all of that, just send over to Mackenzie Toomey. We are currently building out bags right now. We spent 4 people about 8 hours standing in an assembly line and bagging a bag of shirts, a bag of shorts, a bag of way top, and kits, putting them in a bag, drawing them off, and putting them in a pile, and then taking those built out kits and putting them in a team bag that I will give to your coaches on their mandatory coaches meeting. Um, so a lot of those bags and teams are already pretty locked in. If you had to register your um, kid through Carl, if they were 3rd grade and up, I had to submit those rosters to the state on the 18th. So those rosters are pretty locked in at this point. There is some wiggle room that we can do, but a lot of those are pretty locked in. All right, we got some questions popping in. Will there be an in-person Q&A this Saturday? Yes, that is what's on your schedule for coaching. That's what's on your schedule at Natural Steps, the mandatory coaches meeting. That is on your app. If Boswell, if that is not on your app, shoot me a private DM. We will get that posted on your app. That is where all your gear pickup is going to occur. The Arkansas State Soccer Association will send out, their president just texted me she's not going to be able to make it, but their essentially VP and director of recreational programs will be out there. So if you guys have questions about ref assignments, Carl, traveling, any of that stuff, that's not us. That's not us. That goes through the state, and they'll have representatives out there to be able to chat with and ask questions about. Anything 3rd grade and up when it comes to that, we essentially build the rosters, give you a team, schedule your training, and the state handles everything else from 3rd grade and up. Kids can play up in rec as much as you want. It's one of the things we are going to really try to utilize. It's one of the, sorry, I got distracted by the chat. This is my first time. We Kids can play up in rec. We are really going to try to utilize club passing. So we have some teams that have, you know, 8 kids, 9 kids on a 7v7 roster, or 12 kids on 11v11 roster. So your kid is fairly down in the depth chart on one roster because you want to train with a specific coach or a specific group of kids. As long as once you're scheduled with, as long as your player is registered within the state, I can move them to any rising team out there. So you can't make a game this weekend, or your kid isn't getting as much play time as you would like. I can move you to a different roster for a game or two, move you back to that roster for a game or two. It's something we really are going to try to utilize um, with this new entity of the club to be able to, you're not locked in on the rec side, you're not locked into one team, one roster. This is it. If you don't like it, you're stuck here. That's not how this is going to roll. Um, when you have a lot of that interchangeability with club passes, I can't club pass backwards. So I can't have an eighth grade playing on seventh grade league, but I can go up as far as you are comfortable with when it comes to safety concerns and competitiveness. Um, what week does practice start? It will start next week. Um, is a preseason jamboree still happening? It is the 29th. Um, Berks, is a preseason jamboree still happening? If so, is it Saturday the 29th? Yes, it is. And for what ages, teams, and times? It is already on your schedule. If it is happening for you, we ran out of fields, didn't have enough fields for the volume of teams we have for the jamboree. I will try to move around your kids or your teams if we have teams drop, because I know that is Labor Day weekend. So we already had a couple teams that were like, hey, we're not going to be able to field a full team. So we'll try to fix a little bit on that side. But that is what the game on the 29th on your schedule is. For ages, it is 5v5 or 7v7. I'm not going to force 4v4 teams to travel. That's ridiculous. We're going to only do the second grade 5v5 teams or the 7v7 teams. So 5v5 can get used to traveling in a controlled environment, and 7v7, you already have to travel this league anyway. So now you're kind of getting used to that a little bit. Yes, you'll be able to exchange shirts if you need a different size. We have packed the bags out already, so try them on. Shoot us a message if you need a change. You will have to come and pick those up from our office. We have a drop box out front. I will build you a little kit. I'll put it in the drop box out front. You can come and exchange the size that you need. Nike, the Nike affiliate that I don't remember what it's called. It's a I keep wanting to say it's Inertia, but it's a Nike affiliate from soccer.com that our rec jerseys are this season. They do run just a little small through the arms and shoulders. So if you do need to change sizes, let me know and we will be able to update that. Mackenzie Toomey, MacKenzie at arkansasrising.org. She just joined our she was a soccer academy director in her own right for multiple years, and was a manager for a baseball park for many years. She's coming on to do part-time, so please give her grace and patience. She is only working a certain amount of hours with us, running our social media stuff and running our roster building during the summers or during the seasons. So reach out to Mackenzie, Toomey, at arkansasrising.org. We intentionally phrased roster requests that way. Think of it as the world's most obnoxious ACT question. Johnny wants to play with Susie. Susie wants to play with Timmy. Timmy and Johnny don't want to play together, and they both requested different coaches. What do? And now multiply that by 1,300 kids, and what 7 different age groups in 4 different locations. It is absolutely insane. It is a full 20 hours this week and last week, 30 hours this week and last week of trying to make all of those connections and make the most amount of people happy that we possibly can. We know we will never achieve perfection, but what's the saying? And pursuing excellence, you will achieve greatness. That's kind of what we're trying to do. We realize that we'll fall short and some people will be upset. We will do our best that we possibly can. No, it is a coaches only meeting. Parents, players do not need to attend. You're more than welcome to. It can be a little meet and greet. That is not the intent of it. It is to get the coaches out, to get them in front of myself, get them in front of my boss, the executive director, get them in front of Alex Burgess, who we have brought on to help run our new junior academy, get them in front of a couple competitive coaches so they can go out on the field. We will put them through a 30-minute training session. I will take the 4v4 coaches. We'll bring a handful of balls out. We'll go out on the field, and I will treat those 4v4 coaches like they're players for about 30 minutes. This is what we do first. This is why we do it first. This is what we do second. This is why we do second, and actually make the coaches go through a session. We will have Alex Burgess, who is the Euler assistant coach. He was the Rangers pro team coach for a little while. He will run our 5v5 session. We have a competitive coach who's going to run the same thing for 7-a-side, and the executive director, Brandon Home, will run the same thing for the 9v9 and 11v11 coaches. And then the Arkansas State Soccer will have an appearance at the coaches meeting, and that's where your gear pickup will be. All of coaches need to be there. There will be some coaches that there's overlap with a competitive. I believe the girls team is playing in Dallas that weekend, so some coaches won't be able to be there. Please reach out to your coaches and make sure they're there. And if they cannot be there, please make sure someone is there. If you want your gear, you have to have someone there to pick it up. Either that or they have to swing by the office and pick it up. But again, I am running 150 teams. I don't have time to go to 150 separate practices to drop off gear bags. So somebody has to come out that day and pick them up, or you have to swing out by the office and pick them up. Play up means play up in age group. So if you have a kindergartner, you can play up into the first grade age group. You cannot play back into the pre-K age group. That is a safety thing. That's where it's at all levels. So we don't want to put an 8th grader in a kindergarten league. That's not going to be allowed. Even 1 year back, we're probably not going to put a 8th grader in a 7th grade league. You can play up a year, but you cannot play, or 2 or 3 or however much you want, but you cannot move backwards without filing an exception with the state. And that is very rarely actually granted. I think I've seen like 3 ever get granted to play a kid back. Most of the time you have to play in your age group, or you can play however much up your kid can safely compete with. My kid is 11, turning 12 soon, and thought they were in 12U 6th grade. So that one's going to be specific to your player. Go look at our website under our age matrix. If you've emailed me, you have seen age matrix underneath my messages on there. That's how you can figure out what specific age group your kid is in. We go based off what you guys report to us. So if you signed up in the 6th grade age group, we place them in the 6th grade age group. Again, almost 1,300 players. We don't have time to click into every single player and confirm date of birth with age matrix. It's already a 20-hour job rostering. We don't have time for that. We assume that you guys are paying attention and you have selected the correct age group. I know assumptions are not the best, but sometimes it happens. Tyler, I don't know your last name, Coach Goss's team. I have to manually click out all of those. I just haven't gotten to Coach Goss yet. I finished up at about 1 a.m. last night with, this morning, I guess, with getting my emails done. I will figure out to get as many of those practice scheduled before this weekend. Yes, our coaches are Safe Sports certified. We are background checked within the state. We have concussion protocol with the CDC, and they have, I believe it's Heads Up Soccer. I always get those confused. Heads Up Soccer is 3 different certifications they have to run, and a background check with Arkansas State Soccer. We will try, Holly, to move around a little bit. We are with the in-house league. There's a little more freedom on that kindergarten, pre-K, kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade programs, because that's me that operates those. We don't have to do that within the state, so you can jump in the team a little later. We will sometimes, there's always one team that we accidentally arbitrarily throw one girl on. Last season I did it to a boy. He was on a essentially all girls team in kindergarten. We will try to round out rosters from our wait list. We typically have about 100 to 150 players sitting on our wait list. So we will, with the third grade and up teams, it's really difficult to add players throughout the season to those teams. With our in-house league, we can add players essentially at will. Um, it's a little bit of legwork on our side, but we'll have to work with that. Thank you, Megan Anthony. We appreciate you. It is a labor of love, as that's for sure. Um, uh, I do not Boswell. If you're comfortable with it, Boswell, can you put in your, I don't know your email. You're just B Boswell. Can you throw your email or your first last name in the chat so I can reach out to you? Or you can shoot me an email, Luke Lines, LUKELINES at arkansasrising.org. So you and I can work on that. I'm not sure what's going on there. Girls, 11B11. My daughter is 11 and 6th. My daughter is 11 and she changed level in confused. I'm not sure. Dwight Anderson, girls team, 11 versus 11. My daughter is 11 and she changed level. I'm guessing you mean I'm confused. Yes, as I'm not sure, I will ramble a little bit until you can. Oh, Brandon. Okay, I got you, Brandon. You're good. I will reach out to you in a second. I'm going to ramble a little bit and hopefully I can answer your question, Dwight Anderson. As they age up, they're going to change from 7v7 to 9v9 to 11v11. So yeah, you will see some players getting changed. We did have to combine some teams, so maybe they had to move up. I can't speak directly on it, but if there was only, as an example, if there was only one girl 6th grader in your program, then we might have had to roster her as a 7th grade, which is an 11v11 program. Or maybe the age is different. If you look at our website, Age Matrix, you might see that while in 6th grade, her actual birthday places her in the quote unquote 7th grade leave. But we will do that, does something that changes depending on age. Perfect. AM Hankins 83. Can you throw me your kid's name, your name, whatever, so I can double check and see what's going on with you? You all pop up as your user handles, so I can't follow up unless y'all tell me who y'all are. Brandon, you are on my notes. Boswell, I will get to you. Morgan, Holiday. I have sent out about. Oh, Amanda, gotcha. Um, Let me put you in, and I will follow up with you, Amanda. Give me a sec. I will send you a email as quick as I can once we get off this live stream. So sit tight. I know it's not the best answer in the world. Morgan Holiday 413. I'm going to need some clarification on that. I've sent out about 700 emails in the last 24 hours. So confirm. Morgan, yes, there is a reason because we are giving ourselves a bigger runway. When we stagger start, we have to have all of our games done by the first week of November. So in previous seasons, we have had Carl kick off. We have had like a week, and then we've had in-house kickoff, and then a week, and we had our babies kickoff, which allowed them all to end at the same time because it was a stagger start to begin with. Because the babies are 6 weeks, the grassroots is 8 weeks, and then Carl typically runs about 9 to 12 weeks, depending on training. Um, this season, we are all starting the same week, so that way, when rainouts, storms, heat, whatever cancel, I have 2 full weeks to reschedule your games. I can roster in a week 9, week 10. So you will guaranteed get a full 8 weeks. That is why. And because rec on Carl's side, also the state has decided to start on Labor Week. So if your kids can't play, I can take that game, and we will either move it, if too many kids can't show up, we will either move it to a weekday game or add it as a week 9 at the bottom of it. Again, the in-house leagues are fairly flexible. I just need coaches to communicate to me what they need to do in order to make your kids have all the games you want. Yes, Burns is not available for rec teams. We had 20 total kids sign up for all, what, 18 age groups that we have out there, and we only had 20 total kids sign up. So no, we are not running a rec program out of Burns. To be perfectly clear and transparent, I believe Brandon said he's been here 7 years and has never seen enough kids sign up to Burns to actually run a program there. We are obligated with our partnership with the city to promote Burns and to advertise for Burns, but very rarely will we actually have enough kids to run the program out of Burns. Um, Dwight, I again, roster building goes to Mackenzie Toomey. I have nothing to do with roster building. I have not placed a single person on a single team. I reach out to her every day, ask her if she needs help, ask her if there's any clarifications I can put in it. I operate at the high level when it comes to roster building. The way our program works with roster building, if you get too many people in there clicking around, she saves it on her side. That means everything I've done for the last however long doesn't get saved, and then we just end up bumping each other's elbows. So I have absolutely nothing to do with roster building this season. Um, so give her grace and patience, and we will do our best to build out as many as they can. I spoke to this a minute ago, but think about the absolute worst ACT style standardized question of little Susie, little Johnny want to play together. Little Timmy wants to play with Johnny, and all of them have requested different coaches. And Timmy doesn't want to play with Susie. Like, what do you do? And now multiply that out by 1,300 player requests. There is no world where we make everyone happy. Someone's going to get burned. Someone's going to get left off the team. It happens. We will try our hardest. I'm literally texting Mackenzie to me at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. We're sitting here trying to get these rosters figured out for y'all. We will do our absolute best, but there comes a point in time when the math doesn't math. So I'm happy to help, Morgan. Whatever we can do, I'm trying to add as much value as we can possibly get to y'all's programs. We are a massive club. We are one of the biggest premier level clubs in the state, if not the biggest premier level club in the state. We run about 2,000 roster spots a season, between 1,300 on my end and another 500 on the competitive side, and then another about 100, 150 between our Rising Stars and Academy combined. So we run about 2,000 kids a season. We have a full-time staff of 3. So bear with us. We are trying to do as much big open forum style as we can get. Morgan. Oh, are you talking about the Junior Academy, Morgan? Is that the conversation that we had? Can you clarify that one for me? The Junior Academy is based on, it's something new that we are not doing the UCA sessions out at Maumelle. We are doing the junior academy. We have hired Coach Alex to come in. I believe he's doing like 10 hours a week to run our junior academy program. He was the Rangers pro team coach on the women's side for a while. He is now the Euler assistant coach. Alex Burgess. He's worked within Rising off and on again for years. He is an excellent coach in his own right. He's going to come in, and his sole purpose is to run a junior academy to add um, value to the rec side. Your kid wants something a little bit more than a parent volunteer coach. Our parent volunteer coaches are incredible. They are so great. We could not do what we do without a parent volunteer coach. But your kid wants something a little bit more, something a little bit more intentional. That's where Coach Alex comes in. He will do 1 week. Let me stall for a second. He will do 1 day a week in Natural Steps. He will do 1 day a week at Murray Park, and he will do 1 day a week at Maumelle, so that way he can spread his time across. He's also coaching, I believe, 2 competitive teams. Mondays. He will do Mondays in Maumelle at 4:30. He will do Tuesdays at Natural Steps at 4:30. And he will do Thursdays at Murray Park 4 o'clock, and Thursdays at Murray Park at 5 o'clock. Those are divided up by ages. So Mondays U5, U6 at Maumelle, Tuesdays U5, U6 at Natural Steps, and Thursdays are at Murray Park. It is up to Coach Alex on whether or not he is comfortable with a 5-year-old coming out to the 7-year-old training sessions. I don't know what his training session is going to look like, how intense it will be. If it's something that's going to be too intense and too competitive for a 4-year-old, a U5 player, then that wouldn't be the best scenario to put your player up for success or the rest of the kids that are there when they have to go against a kid 3 years younger. So the Junior Academy program is definitely a pilot program. We currently have 74 people in that Junior Academy program right now. Obviously, as it grows, I am going to try to pull more of Coach Alex's time into that program. We have hired the UCA goalie coach, Coach Harry Crackle, to come and help. And some of you might know Bailey Williams from the soccer center. She was a manager out at the soccer center for a while. She is going to be helping Coach Alex and Coach Harry run the Junior Academy programs. I am always happy to have as much meetings as possible. I would rather do meetings like this than send you an email at 2 a.m. So I'm always happy to do open forums like this. I think this is something that can add a lot of value and help educate you guys, and me not be just a name on an email telling you no, unfortunately. I hope you guys know that you can approach me anytime you guys want. I will try to make myself as approachable as possible via emails and stuff, but this is going to be a great spot for y'all to raise comments, concerns, and questions instead of 17 emails. Well, we've had 60 people pop in and out already, so hopefully this will cut down on some of the email transactions occurring. Until some more questions pop in. I have a 6-month-old Great Dane puppy, and I just heard a massive boom from my living room, so that will be interesting. We are doing the new facility fees that got hit. I know there's a bunch of questions on what's going into that, what all pays into that program with facility fees. If you go down Shackelford, down towards Top Golf area, kind of in that spot, it's about less than 2 minutes past Top Golf over headed west. We have about 30 acres on Shackelford there that we are going to be developing into a southern location. Um, think somewhere what Murray Park kind of looks like. Somewhere between Murray Park, Natural Steps, some combination of those is what we're going to try to accomplish there. We are, Brandon is, this is his brainchild, being very aggressive on, we are trying to push that as hard as we possibly can to get fields, get parking. Right now, it is full brush wilderness. It is, you can't even graze cows in there. We have to fully cut down trees, fully do the topsoil, get heavy machinery in there, um, so we can build out, I would say, probably 5 or 6 11v11 fields out there. Again, think Natural Steps, Murray Park. We are going to try to get that launched by spring, but that is where a decent chunk of your facility fees are going to be going towards to help. We are going to get topsoil and reseed and fertilize and all that fun stuff out at Murray Park. I was actually at Murray Park yesterday, weed eating and slapping some paint up. Um, Went and sprayed some poison ivy. I am covered in it now um, during my lunch breaks. So we are trying our hardest to get these locations up to scratch, up to where a massive premier level team can be comfortable and confident saying that that's my home location. Um, Natural Steps, when those of you who've been out to Natural Steps, you come through a little roundabout and the parking is off to the right and all the fields are off to the right, and then we've got about 15 acres of just open grass space to the left. That is all us. We actually still, we have a partnership with the city. All of that is managed and operated by us. We have previously just been selling it for hay to a local farmer, I believe. We are going to be adding parking out there. So we are doubling the size of parking at Natural Steps. And then we are going to add actual in-ground bathrooms out there, which means we have to do all the sewer and water and all that nonsense that goes into adding a permanent building. Those are our first two things we're going to try to accomplish at Natural Steps. We are going to have close to 500 kids running out of Natural Steps. I believe it's 550 is our current number um, out at Natural Steps. And our parking lot currently holds 130 cars. So logistics has been very interesting to try to make sure y'all have enough time to play a 60-minute game and unload for the new team to come in and get out on the field. We have scheduled it in 90-minute gaps, so there's 30 minutes of transit time between each game, so y'all don't have to park on the road and walk all the way in. We will try to carpool as much as we possibly can. Y'all came from the ranch, you know that parking is abysmal. So it will be, until we can get that groundbreaking over there for the new parking, it will be just a little tight for y'all. But it will be very exciting. We'll add, once that parking lot gets in, we're going to add another 4 fields out at Natural Steps um, and continue to grow that location. Um, the end goal is to put in some stadium lights. We will roll out in the short term, we'll roll out some rental lights when it starts to get dark. Same thing in the spring, we'll go get some rental lights and roll those out for you guys. End goal, hopefully within the next year or two, is we will get the big actual lights, but those are a big investment. So we have to make sure that we are stewarding y'all's money correctly. And right now, the biggest need is that Shackelford um, southern location. We will be moving off Henderson. Um, I have seen gravel parking lots with more grass and turf than Henderson. We will be moving off Henderson probably next season. I think we only have one team currently training there. Um, so we will be moving towards building out that Shackelford South location. So then we'll have about 30 acres in Shackelford and South Little Rock. We'll have all of Maumelle and North Little Rock. We'll have all of Murray Park in East and about 30 acres in Natural Steps. So north, south, east, and west. Hopefully we'll make it a lot more convenient to the most amount of parents we can have. And that's where a decent chunk of your facility fees will be going towards. Um, our previous price point allowed us to break even essentially. So that's kind of why we had to, if we wanted to upgrade anything, uh, it had to come from a slight bump in prices, unfortunately. Just know that we are doing everything we can to cut down as much as we possibly can on y'all's prices and to make this as easy as possible for our volunteer coaches. I am scheduling all of the rec league. I schedule and operate everything for the coaches. They show up and run the session, but I do all of the practice scheduling, all the behind the scenes stuff for all of the in-house leagues, and all the logistics behind field scheduling and field booking for in-house. Brandon and I will take over last season the volunteer refs or the volunteer parents um, scheduled their own games in the third grade and up program. This season, Brandon and I are taking that over and scheduling all the home games. Um, so to try to make it as easy as we can possibly make it for our parent volunteer referees or coaches. Um, Y'all, they literally just need to show up, run this drill, and be there for the game. I am hosting one of these as well for coaches. We had about 20-ish coaches that came to the one on Wednesday at noon that popped in and chit chatted and hung out for a while. So we are trying our best to make sure that those coaches are supported and have open access to me. If you want to talk about formations or sub rotations or roster construction, they have the ability to chat with me in person like this at least once a week as well. And of course, most of them have my personal cell phone number, and most of them have emailed me at least a dozen times in the last 24 hours. So um, I'm always willing to try to make those coaches feel as comfortable and valued as we can possibly make it. They are the faces of our franchise, and we cannot do what we do without them. They're greatly appreciated. We have a Dick's partnership, so I have about 1,000 cones sitting. This is my home office. About 1,000 cones sitting in my work office, and about 1,000 pennies. And we have got dots and balls, game balls, and speed ladders. And we give out obviously coaching shirts and stuff for all of our new beginner coaches. So we are doing our best to make sure we take care of those parent volunteer coaches. I say all that. This is my pitch. If anyone wants to hop in, we are always looking for it. Typically, we average about 70% of the volunteers we actually need. And then I've got to go through and do the whole hiring, interviewing, background checking, training process that involves someone working with children. So um, trust me when I say it's not a hey, you have a pulse, go out on the field type scenario. It is a good 2 weeks of me meeting with them, bringing them out to the field. They watch me coach. I typically even try to get coffee or something with them so I can hang out with them a little bit off the field, and make sure they're a good culture fit for what we're looking for. And we only can do that after we close registration. So we can't really start hiring staff until we close registration. We don't close registration until the second week of August. So all the roster building, all of the coach hiring, all the game planning, all the bagging and everything has happened in the last, 7 days, 8 days. Um, so bear with us as we deal with week one, day one confusion. Y'all are not asking many questions. We got about 20 people in here. Y'all just like listening to me ramble. If y'all got anything we need, y'all don't have to stay either. So if you don't have anything you need answered, or you're more than welcome to pop off. This is a every week occurrence. So if no one has questions or no one has to pop on, I might just drink some coffee on live stream and it will be boring for everybody. Anything specific? If a coach is not identified for a team, how will that be handled? Typically, I, um, like I said, we normally have about, so this season we had 107 volunteers initially sign up, and we run about 140-ish teams. Um, so based off of that, I go and hire as I typically have been hiring people throughout the year. I had a staff of about 15 that I had already hired, and it's hard to hire somebody and then be like, your first shift isn't for 3 months. So um, we try to keep them in house as much as we possibly can. Um, when it comes to that, I had about 15 already hired and ready to go. Um, I opened up. I was like, hey, here are the 30 teams that I need coaches for. They signed up and scheduled it, and then I reach out to the parents and blackmail and bribe, and coaches get their registration fee returned to them. So we do have a lot of parents who are willing to step up. Some of them need a little bit more push than others. I so far we have not had to ever disband a team because of a lack of a coach. We've had to disband a team um, because of a lack of players. When we only have 3 players that sign up for a location or something, then we have to disband the team or move you to a different age group or different location. But we've never had to actually disband a team because of a lack of coach. I think last season I coached 4 or 5 teams, a couple academy teams. So worst case scenario, we in the leadership staff will hop in and try to help a little bit. I am a big over communicator. Y'all, you will learn that about me as we do these. I don't do politics. I don't do um, behind the closed doors type stuff. I tell everybody everything, and I let the cards fall where they fall. I've worked in healthcare for the last decade, though, so HIPAA does scare the bejesus out of me. So I will keep secrets, but typically we let the cards fall where they fall, and I will over communicate as much as I possibly can. Delaney, I have absolutely no idea why your son's schedule shows for U10 girls. Let me write your name down. You will be my follow-up as soon as I hop off this, along with Boswell and Quick. Delanie. Yeah, I got you, Delaney. Atchison. Let me. It's a little slow in there. This is going to be super exciting for those of you. About 15 people still chilling. Delaney, since I got a second, let me go pull you up specifically here. This is one of those things a lot of parents don't understand. It takes me about 17 to 20 clicks to find a player. It is not as simple as move a player from one to the other. Delaney, I'm assuming you mean Jackson. No, Jackson's on the boys. Double check that for me, Delaney. I'm looking at Jackson's roster here, and I've got him on third grade boys with Coach McEwen. Oh, I see what you're saying. We've got you scheduled for an away game versus the girls' academy team. That's where an issue is. Okay, let me fix that. Jackson versus. Okay, that is a easy easy fix, but that is a fix we can do. like that is all the stuff that's Delaney, as soon as I have time to update it. I'm sure Coach McEwen has filled out the form. If he has not, I will reach out today. Today, my next to-do list after the list of names I have here is to click through everyone's teams and make sure coaches are being held accountable. We do have a handful of, like, I hired them 24 hours ago type coaches. So I need to go and click through everyone's schedule and make sure everyone is getting their scheduled practices times into me. We also had Playmetrics crash on me the other day, and everyone's schedule got shifted by 24 hours. I have no idea why. Playmetrics loves to make me duplicate work. Um, so I had to go back and redo everybody's schedules. So we're a little bit behind. Oh, hey, there we go. It's on there. He has communicated it to me. I just haven't gotten to him yet. Um, I will get that posted before the I go to sleep tonight, whether that is 2 a.m. or 9 p.m. Fingers crossed, one more than the other. But I will get that on your schedule before I go to bed. Depends on how much coffee I can consume between now and then. Happy to help. Um, just kind of rolling through, see if there's any questions I missed in here. Um, I'm not seeing any. I'm going to throw us on a quick break. If you are waiting for a good time to duck out and you don't know when to do it, this is a great time. My puppies are screaming in the backyard, so let me go get them in real quick. We are going to break for about 2 minutes, and then I will jump back in and continue to answer questions. Okay. I try. Oh, yep. Delaney, I actually have an email sent to me today, about a minute or two ago, from Coach McEwen. So I will get him on the schedule as soon as I can. I try my hardest to make sure all of my inboxes are pushed out as much as I possibly can. Um, I will typically try to do every 24 hours, make sure I clear all of my inboxes out. I also run all of our customer service stuff. So not only am I dealing with my own personal inbox, but the questions and all the voicemails and all that fun stuff. So give me a little time to make sure I can communicate everything to everybody who needs a piece of my time. We don't really answer the phone, as many of you are aware at this point. We get, I'm not exaggerating, at least 100 phone calls a day from people asking us to donate money to them, for people asking us to go and buy uniform shirts from them, from Temu, trying to get us to partner with them, just stuff like that. Um, literal hundreds of cold call sale calls every day because we're a nonprofit organization. Um, we would get nothing accomplished if we let that phone ring as much as it actually does, on top of the 3,000 parents that all want to communicate every single season. Um, so typically we get our voicemails emailed to us. So please leave a voicemail. We will email you back based off voicemails. Would you rather me call you at 2 a.m. or leave you email at 2 a.m.? Because that's a lot of times my break time. So um, please leave voicemails. We will get back to those as fast as we can, as quick as we can. But we probably get a couple hundred phone calls a day from people and sales and spam because we're a nonprofit and we have to publicly advertise our cell phone numbers. Is looking like our Murray Park program is going to be about 200% bigger than it was last season, um, which is absolutely incredible. We were going to get about 450 kids out at Murray Park this season. Um, we are moving off the ranch over to Murray Park. So you'll have 4v4, 5v5, 77, and 9v9 all out at Murray Park. It'll be a great community. You'll be able to have a lot more connection with some of our families than feeling super isolated and out on a location by yourself. Um, Natural Steps is going to be a similar boat. We're moving off the ranch. The bank owned the ranch. We just rented from them. And we had to beg on our hands and knees to get them to allow us to run in the spring out of the ranch to give us one more season. This season, we've moved everyone about 7 minutes south to or west to Natural Steps. I know it's a little bit farther down the road for some of y'all, but it is in way better fields, no fire ants, no rocks, no random gutter right down the middle of it, and you have an incredible backdrop of Pinnacle Mountain as you're out there playing. You're right off of the lake and the river, so we get a pretty decent little breeze coming off over there. It's just parking's an issue where we will be definitely, as soon as we can, getting parking out there, but they need about 2 weeks to store heavy machinery, and parking is already at premium. So if we only have 130 parking spots and they want to take away 20 to store bulldozers and levelers and stuff like that out there, that's just not feasible during season. So that's going to be a either winter or early spring project. They quoted us about 2 weeks in order for them to do it. So once we get out of season and weather permits, we will get additional parking, get rid of the porta potties out, Natural Steps. Fun fact: we had somebody put a firework in it and completely blow it up, and then pour what looks like gasoline on it and light it on fire. Um, on one of our porta potties out there at Natural Steps. So that was a conversation none of us expected to have at 8 a.m. on a Tuesday. That our porta potty had been exploded. Um, we are going to try to get in-ground permanent bathrooms out there, at least a couple real stalls, and um, upgrade that facility a little bit for y'all. But that comes with running sewer lines and water lines and plumbing and electric and all that fun stuff um, that goes into that. So bear with us. That's more than just slapping some concrete bricks together and saying good to go. That is an infrastructure that has not existed and does not exist. We are truly having to recreate the wheel out at Natural Steps. Um, so it will be probably at least saying spring would be feisty. I would say more like yes, an athletic trainer who spends full days out there. Uh, I'm sure they would appreciate, if you know who that one is, I'm sure she would appreciate having a little shade um, out there. we're going to try to put in um, as much as we can to make that as bougie and high end of a location that y'all deserve. That a club and organization our size with our pedigree needs. I would love to get to the point where we can compete against Burns when it comes to bougie level. We will see. Um, we will work on getting topsoil and all that fun stuff out at um, Murray Park, hopefully during this off season by spring. That location just floods so bad with how close it is to the water, to the river. Um, Anytime that water pops up um, over the bank, it just wipes out all of our topsoil out at Murray Park, which then absolutely smokes all of the grass that we have poured in out there. So we are in charge of everything. Well, we maintain everything inside the half brick wall there at Murray Park. Everything outside that half brick wall um, is city owned, operated, and managed. We try to make sure that we go a little above and beyond. And uh, I was out weed eating it the other day and um, trying to edge some of the parking lot to try and make sure that that location is as good as we can make it for y'all. But bear with us as we kind of reinvent the wheel on these locations over the next, I'd say, about 2 years to make sure that these kiddos get one, parents get what they pay for, and two, these kiddos have a location that they're proud of. At the end of the day, it is our faces behind these brands, so we want to make sure that Rising is putting a product out there that I am, Brandon is, Alec, or Ryan is comfortable with. I don't want to put my name and face and reputation behind the company, and then we got poison ivy crawling up the bleachers and fire ants running around. So we will do our best to make sure um, all those locations are up to snuff, and that is where those location fees come through. We are also working on getting field sponsorships. Um, we've got a couple that have rolled in. That is something Mackenzie Toomey is helping with. Brandon and I are out there having meetings and wining and dining people to try to get some field sponsorships to relieve some of that financial pressure um, on our end, on y'all's end, to make sure that we can do right by you guys. I'm looking to get some, so if you guys know of any companies that want non-for-profit partnerships and tax donations and all that fun stuff, let me know. We are also working on getting vendors and food trucks and whatnot to swing out every couple weeks between locations. So if you've got friends that operate or own food trucks or booths or anything like that, let me know. I would be more than happy to give them access to 1,300 hungry kids and 3,000 undercaffeinated parents to make that environment a lot more fun and inviting for you guys. And if you happen to be a coffee nut like me and there's a coffee truck out on your kid's field at 8:30 in the morning, I'm sure the vendors would appreciate it too. We're running, we got about 15-ish minutes left, and then I'm gonna call it. So if you all got any specific questions, anything I can do to help, we've had about 100 parents pop in and out over the last hour. So that's 100 people with more information than they had before. So I appreciate your guys' time. I will be doing this weekly. Grace and Grind Coffee. I will reach out. Grace and Grind. I will absolutely see if we can get something going. Um, whatever we can do to try to add value to our programs. Anything we can do to make you all feel happy. Um, so Sam, it depends on your program. If you are talking about a second grade and under 4v4, 5v5 age group person, that is to talk to your coach. Yes, it can be rescheduled. Um, we are starting on Labor Day 4v4. Okay, yep, that is something that can be rescheduled. That is, we are starting on Labor Day, so that way I have 2 weeks to reschedule on the back end. Your season's 8 weeks long. I now have a week 9, week 10 that we can adjust. Before you guys started on, you had an 8 week season, and your last week was the last week of the season. There was nothing we could really stretch into. Um, at that point, we're dealing with not enough lights, not enough weather days because while we're in mid-November. Um, so that's one of the reasons why we are all starting Labor Day weekend, and then I have a little bit of a runway to reschedule stuff. Talk to your coach. Um, okay, perfect. Yeah. Talk to your coach. They have the option to reschedule it either on the practice day. So a lot of times like y'all are training at fields next to each other. So a lot of times it's like, hey, practice day, let's just meet on this open field and play our game here. That does short you guys a practice day. So you can move it literally any day of the week. I'm the one that's in charge of, I do all of the logistics and all of the scheduling for our in-house programs. So they just have to reach out to me and be like, hey, is Murray Park 4v4 field open on Tuesday? And I can go look at the schedule, give them options. Or they can have the option to push it to the end of the season as well. So maybe we do a week 9 or a week 10 game to make sure everyone gets 8 games and 8 training sessions. Rachel, no, you're fine. I will address everything. Will my coach let me know what's needed for first practice? What's needed is guards, water, and some fun mindset. Your coach will have gear. Your coach will have cones, pennies, hoops, dots, all the fun stuff that Coach Martinez needs. She will come to our coaches training, so she will have gear and all your players' kits and uniforms. Um, just show up with a great attitude and ready to have some fun. Um, we strongly encourage cleats and guards if it is a matter of like they're throwing a temper tantrum because they don't want to put their guards and cleats on. That's fine. Let them come play. I'd rather have them out on the field. But we strongly encourage cleats and guards. Fall break again. Same answer on that one. Go talk to your coach. I build out the schedule and I will put it all out there and I will get it 80% that way. And then I'm anticipating 20% shifting between what is needed from team to team. So talk to your coach, figure out what they want to do, and I will be more than thrilled to assist them in that. I just don't know with 1,300 kids and 140 teams, I don't know what your specific team needs to be in a place to succeed. So we rely on coaches to do that and then communicate to me, and I will do all the logistics, wow, behind it. Um, I tell the coaches to treat me as their assistant coach for everything. Um, so they go out and they do the thing, and I will do all the behind the scenes stuff in order to support all. I think right now we're running about 200 if you include volunteers and assistants and paid staff. We're down to the final couple minutes here. If you all got any final questions, comments, concerns, anything I can do to put your mind at ease or over communicate to you, let me know. We've had about 100 parents pop in and out. We will be doing these every week, so don't feel obligated. If you don't have a question that week, don't hop in. If you have a question that week, hop in. No stress either way. You've got 8 weeks to come and listen to me chit chat. I will have a location manager on each field this season. It's something new that I'm going to add. Um, it will be a hired staff member who will be out there to help point you in the direction of where field 11 is, where Coach McCune is playing, where Coach Martinez is playing. Um, where the bathrooms are, just stuff like that. There will be somebody out there on game days for about 5 hours every Saturday to help point where they're going, and they will have my cell phone and all that fun stuff. I mean, West Little Rock is our biggest location, so I'm to be fair, I'm new. I've only lived here for about a year and a half ish. Natural Steps, West Little Rock is our West Little Rock location. We run 500 and right now we have 520 kids out of Natural Steps in West Little Rock. We've got 30-ish acres. Okay. Uh, I don't know. As far as fields go, because we are opening the that one down in Shackelford, that's going to be more of our southern location, and then we have that's going to be 30 acres, and then we've got 20-ish acres, 30-ish acres in Natural Steps. So most people in Central Little Rock are going to be 15 minutes from Shackelford or 15 minutes from Natural Steps. So that one's putting something more central is just going to add issues. That's kind of where we got for. Shackelford's going to be down by Top Golf area. The we it is literal brush right now. We got donated the land. Like you can't even graze cows in it. There's not that much flat space. So we have to bulldoze and fully do the whole thing. That is where most of the facility fees are going to be going on top of resurfacing Murray Park with seed, grass, and topsoil, and adding bathrooms and parking to Natural Steps. And then everything else is going to develop Shackelford. Um, that is ETA on that one. We are fingers crossed, very aggressive. Um, I believe so. Again, still kind of a tourist here. I can get to the office and back without GPS. Down by, you keep going past. I've been there. There's a little gymnastics area. There used to be a CrossFit gym back there. Work Harder Gym is right across the street from it. Back in that area. The goal is to try to help pull some kids from that what Central West Little Rock spot to pull some kids up from Benton and Alexander. Um, but that's going to the ETA on that one. We are really hoping we have at least some usable fields down there by spring. That is very aggressive. It might be fall before we have usable fields there, as we do have to do the whole bulldozers, front end loaders, all that fun stuff. Nikki, depends on your program. I've already forgotten. Second grade and down, you will play only rising teams. Second grade and up is the state ran Arkansas Central Arkansas Rec League, Carl, CARL. Yeah, you will play in that program. You will play 4 home games, 4 away games against other clubs. And you are waiting on your schedule because the state has not sent it to me yet. They didn't close their registration until the 18th. I just got y'all's rosters submitted to them a couple days ago. So as soon as Arkansas State Soccer will send me y'all's schedule, I will schedule your home games and get it on your app for you. But we don't do any refing, any third grade and up scheduling. I'm always happy to help Sam. Any refing, any scheduling, any away games for that Carl third grade and up league, that does not come through us. We only do our home games scheduling. You absolutely can, Rachel. You will have to reach out to me specifically. I believe I have like a $5 admin fee on it. She asks if you can sign up for the Junior Academy additional training. You definitely can. I think it's like a $5, $10 admin fee, um, just to because of all the logistics on our end to make it worth our time to run it. But that's definitely something you can jump in on if you go do your practice and you're like, hey, we want something a little bit more um, challenging. Absolutely, you can sign up week 7 out of 8 weeks. Like it is truly open enrollment. Just let me know. You'll have to reach out to me specifically, but I would be thrilled to get you in there. As many kids as we can get into that junior academy, it will just set you guys up for great success moving down. We are going to open our academy, our actual academy. We currently are running U7 if you're a really, really good U7 player, or U8, U9, U10. That's typically where our age groups are for our academy right now. It's mostly the top level U8s and then top level U9s and top level U10s in our academy. Next season, I'm going to open it up one more age group, so you'll have 9v9 available in the academy. It gives kids an outlet for they don't make competitive, but they don't want to go back to rec. Now, what do we do? You have another year that you can run in the academy. We are really trying to develop that academy program, um, adding junior academy so you can start sooner, and then expanding into the 9v9 program so you can be in it longer. Academy is 3 days a week with a paid licensed USA Soccer Federation background checked coach. Um, and they have weekly scripts written by me, and I am out on the field every single week with them. All kids in the academy have FaceTime with me at least once a week and typically twice a week. So if the academy is something y'all who are parents of babies, um, I would definitely consider looking into. It is a great place for to place your kid. Our youngest competitive team on the boys side, 100% of the roster came from our academy program. We had about 60, 80, we had about 80 kids show up for tryouts for our U10 competitive team, and every single one of them came from our academy program. Um, it is the best place to place your children to put them in a position to succeed long term. Um, I'm obviously very biased because 7 of those 12 kids were mine. So I'm obviously incredibly biased. I have blue and gold tinted glasses on for sure. But if you do ever want additional training or additional help, we will be doing private training again next summer. Um, so we had about 60 kids take us up on doing private small group trainings over the summer. We are going to try to run some indoor teams, Rising affiliate, Rising helped indoor teams this winter at the soccer center just to try to keep as many players around the ball. If you're doing other sports, go do other sports. This is solely those two things during the summer and winter are solely to get kids off the couch. Um, it is a low cost, low budget option to get kids out of the house, out of y'all's hair, out on the field, burning some energy through summer and winter. Again, just trying to add value to the program for y'all where we can find it. All right, we are 1 minute past. Last call. Any questions? Any comments? Any concerns? Anything I can do? Anything I haven't rambly touched on? Soccer.com. We have some incredible things at soccer.com. If you go to our website, you will see Team Store up there. I got a couple really cool hats. I got some cool shirts up there. Um, we would love some cool fan gear out on the fields. We also, I mean, I guess it's not really fan gear, but we will post out like our Dick's partnership will give us periodically 20% off options that we can send out to parents. So it's not specific Rising. I do have a bunch of iron-on patches, Nikki. I don't know if that's something you would be interested in, but I've got probably like 80 to 100 iron-on patches sitting in my office. You are more than welcome to have as many as your heart desires. Yeah, then you can absolutely have some of that. Shoot me a message or swing by the office at some point, and you can take as many as you would like. They're a little bit bigger than this one. They're a little bigger, um, but they are definitely yours. They do me no good. I found them in a desk drawer. We recently moved offices. I found them in a desk drawer. Whoever wants them, they do me no good sitting in my office. I'd rather they be out in the community, giving me good advertisement. As you all get tired of my rambling, feel free to drop out. I don't want to close the chat on anybody, so I will be the last one in here. Anybody got anything? Last call. All right, y'all. I'm gonna call it then. That was a couple minutes there of dead air. As always, I am happy to help. Give me a shout. Let me know. We will do these weekly. I will send out the chat. I will send out the link. Follow our page. We're going to do a lot more on our page. Um, this is something during the off season I want to try to develop some community education stuff for our YouTube channels. So appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your day. I will see y'all out on the field or in the city.